This is XY Spark, restoring holistic, healthy masculinity. Hello, good morning. Welcome to another one of our broadcasts here on XY Spark. How are you guys doing? We are so happy to be here with you one more day to celebrate, to join with you, to speak with you, and to seek to offer you tidbits to help you to start your day. Notice I did not say timbits, I said tidbits. How's the weather where you are? I must be grateful to say that our weather here in northern Alberta is starting to be a lot more user friendly. So we are indeed enjoying beautiful weather. Yes, and you may say, Rolando, what do you call beautiful? I'm talking about anywhere between 14, 15 degrees. Right now, it's morning time, so it's a little bit cooler. It's like right about -1 right now, but it promises to warm up later, and so we are indeed happy. How was your weekend? I hope you guys did some fun stuff, spend time with family, spend time with friends. I hope that you were doing your best to keep healthy, to stay healthy, to do things that will help you to become the best version of yourself. Notice that we are keeping our program here now a little later than normal, and we're going to try to have our podcast run about this time, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 7 a.m. on the Pacific Time, and it's around about 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Guys, I just wanted to say to you that I'm pretty happy that you continue to make XY Spark your place of listenership. We want to remind you that Morning Mania is a program designed to provide a meal in the morning for men on the move with daily motivation, inspiration, and life coaching tips that seek to motivate, empower, and nurture a changed mindset. I am your boy and men's life coach, Rolando. Motivation Monday. As men, we are constantly engaged in a mindset challenge. We are constantly engaged in a process where we have to confront our greatest fears. We have to confront the reality that we are oftentimes pushed against the wall, our backs are against the wall, and we are there seeking to work our way through the maze of the societal expectations. And we wonder who we are. We wonder if we're ever going to make it. We are constantly challenged. And time again, we have to seek to remind ourselves of who we are, of why we are, of where we are going, and why it is important. The drive, the desire, the willingness to stay motivated in a society that offers so many different distractions and have so many expectations, some of which are not clearly defined, challenges us as men to seek to reconnect and refocus as we walk our daily path in life. So, the question that I would like you to think about today is, what is missing in your life that you need to do differently that's going to help you to stay motivated? What is the greatest obstacle that you find you're coming up against every single day that has challenged you? This past weekend, what happened that really threw you for a loop? And you got up this morning and you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it through this one? Where can I go? And sometimes, because we don't get the answer that we were expecting. Or sometimes because when we ask these questions, there seems to be a deafening silence. We start feeling hopeless. We start feeling helpless. We get discouraged. Or we drown ourselves in so many different things that oftentimes ends up being more harmful than good. So we drown ourselves in work. We drown ourselves in drinking a little bit more than we would want. We drown ourselves in smokes. We drown ourselves in drugs. We drown ourselves as we skip around from one sex partner to the next. We drown ourselves in the casino. We drown ourselves in doing things that are more harmful to our psychological, emotional health than we know. And the motivation is nowhere in sight. And so you may ask the question, Rolando, how do I regain this motivation? How do I get back on track? What resources would you recommend to help me to stay motivated? The first thing that I would want to recommend you do, my friend, my brother, my listener, wherever you are, the first thing I would want to recommend that you do is to pause and take a step back. Take a step back. Don't be too hasty to make decisions. Don't be too hasty to conclude. Take a step back for a little bit and do some reflection. You are too busy in your mind. Your actions are too impulsive. You're in too much of a hurry. And the irony of it is you're not even sure where you're hurrying to go. Step back, slow down. My second recommendation is as you step back and slow down, think about somebody that you can call to talk to. I'm not talking about a drinking buddy or someone that you use drugs with or someone that you just go to hang out with when you party. I'm talking about a mentor, someone who is grounded, someone who understands themselves, someone who is able to give you solid, honest advice. And it may be tough to hear, but you have got to be willing to engage in that conversation because tough conversations are oftentimes transformative. The thing that you and I have to remember is those tough conversations that we engage in, if we are resistant, if we have too much ego and too much pride, we are going to see the tough conversations as something where the person is attacking us versus seeing it as something that we need to do differently because it's coming from a place of love. So, number one, take a step back. Number two, reach out to somebody. Number three is this: after you take a step back and you reach out to somebody, whoever it is that you speak with, remember this: don't take the conversation or the counsel that you get as a personal vendetta against you. So take some time to sit with that information to decipher the meat that you can take from that conversation that's going to help you to be more nourished and more empowered. And I use the word meat in quotes. If I were to reiterate more about meat, I mean take the information that you get from the person that you've connected with and seek to see what area, what parts of that conversation makes more sense to you. and be brutally honest to take some initiatives to take those comments and start working on implementation. So here's point number four. You may not be sure how to do the implementation. This is when you need to connect with a professional, someone who understands and knows how to work with persons who are in crises, life crises, relationship crises, professional crises. Reach out and line yourself up in the right environment so that you can start to experience the change and the growth. You see, motivation is something that calls our attention to the reality that if I'm going to experience change, and if I'm going to stay on the path, and if I'm going to grow, and if I'm going to recover from this huge influence over my life that has been destroying my ability to stay empowered, then I have to do the work. So here are the points again I want to reiterate. Number one, slow down, take a step back. Number two, connect with somebody. Number three, take some time to contemplate that information. And number four, if you need help, reach out to someone who can work with you to help you to break out of this cycle of pain so that you can be motivated to become the best version of yourself. Thank you so much for joining us here again in XY Spark. This is your boy and men's life coach Rolando, and we continue to remind you that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you. This is XY Spark, restoring holistic, healthy masculinity.